Am I the a-hole for letting my fiance and his son move in rather than moving to them so his mom can co-parent? I can tell there's gonna be a lot of drama in this from that sentence alone. I, 42 female, met my fiance, 42 male, a year after my late husband passed away in a motorcycle accident 6 years ago. We met through a work partnership and we live in different states. We're about 12 hours apart if we drove. Sometimes we take shorter commuter flights to maximize our time together because we both live near airports. Our relationship has been mostly long distance, but we see each other at least once per month and we text and talk constantly if we're not at work or doing things with our friends. My fiance has been an amazing partner and I feel lucky that I was able to find love again after a tragedy. My fiance has a son, 16 male, from a previous relationship. He broke up with my stepson's mother when his son was 9. I think he's great. He's been supportive of our relationship and he's very close with his dad. The biggest issue has been, take a guess you guys, his mom. His mom is, how can I put this nicely, bitter. She and my fiance have been in and out of court for the last few years. My stepson doesn't get along with his mother. The few times I've met her have been unpleasant due to her hostility towards me. My fiance's mother says that she was only after his money, but it's really not my business. A few years back, she tried to harass me on social media, telling me that I should step aside so my stepson's parents can be together. She also tried to tell me that he would never marry me, just as he never married her. When we got engaged last year, she became enraged and tried to get full custody of my stepson. Why does she want him with his ex so bad? Simply because they're the parents of her grandchild? Is that the only reason? What am I missing?
So many questions.
It backfired because my stepson did not want to live with her and filed with his guardian to have her custody reduced, which was granted. Since then, he has opted to only visit for a few hours one Saturday a month. If she brings up his dad, he just leaves. He's required to answer her phone calls, but if she tries to guilt or argue with him, he can just hang up. I stay out of all of it as much as I can. It's between my fiance, my stepson, and his ex. I just try to show love and support to be supportive to my fiance and my stepson. The issue is my fiance got a long-awaited transfer that will now allow him to live with me. My fiance offered my stepson to live with his mom or my fiance's sister if he wanted to stay at the same school and stay with his friends. My stepson opted to move and live with us. He said that he can FaceTime his friends and there's still a really good STEM school that's willing to take him mid-school year where I live. The plan for them is to move in the last 2 weeks of December. My stepson's mom has tried to fight him moving in with us. She accused my fiance of alienating him against her. My fiance has documented every interaction and every encouragement he's given to try to help his son mend things with his mother. The judge signed off on him moving out of state and into my home. This has set off another wave of harassment from his ex towards me. She has sent me messages from various accounts on social media telling me that I've ruined her family and that if I loved my stepson, I would move closer to them so they can co-parent. I explained to my mom, but she actually sided with my fiance's ex, saying she has every right to be upset as her son is moving away. We can all understand that. My mom suggested that maybe I should consider a temporary living situation closer to them so as not to disrupt my stepson's routine and to help my fiance repair his relationship with his mother. I've never had any real desire to move as I was born and raised in this town and I love it. I also have no desire to give up my home. So I have to ask if I am the a-hole for not considering moving closer to them given the circumstances. Ooh, this one's tricky. I can see all sides here, I really can. Let's get to the comment section because apparently, we got a lot of questions. A lot of questions came and she was quick to answer them, so perfect, because I also have a lot of questions.
Number 1, how dare you?
We are going, you know where we're stopping. We're making a pit stop at the Reddit comment section. Someone said, why does your mother think you should move closer to your fiance and his son? OP said, my mother means well, but she's a bit old-fashioned, overly empathetic, and very motherly. Next comment, why does your stepson want to live with you rather than stay with his mother or aunt? She said, what sold my stepson is the STEM school not far from me. If he had been unable to get in, I think he would have stayed behind. Next comment, how did your fiance feel about moving his son during high school? She said, honestly, the hope was the promotion and transfer would have occurred 2 years ago before my stepson started high school. My fiance almost didn't take it as he didn't want to disrupt his son halfway through high school, but he's been waiting for the promotion. So I guess I understand he wants to take it. Next comment, what does your stepson want to do after school? She said he's very gifted. He already knows 4 different programming languages at 16. Y'all, I was drinking tequila and chasing it with milk at 16 years old, okay? What? So can't relate.
Disgusting!
He wants to work in the AI field. He's had tech companies tell him he doesn't need to go to college and can just start working. My fiance still wants him to go to school and be a kid. Okay, so he's a genius, which I have no earrings on. Oh my gosh, or my ring. What a sin. I'll be right back.
2 hours later.
Wow. I had my jewelry laid out and I just forgot to put it on. Who am I? Oh my gosh, I knew something just felt so weird. I hate when I don't have earrings in. Oh my, as you can tell. Next comment, what are the plans for your stepson to maintain contact with his mother after the move? The plan is to send him to his aunt and his mom can visit at her place. At this point, he doesn't want to be alone with her and she behaves better for visits if his aunt is around. Next comment, does the court require your stepson to spend holidays or breaks with his mother? She said no. The judge ruled that he's perfectly capable of settling his own schedule. The plan is to send him to visit his aunt during the breaks so that he can spend time with his friends. But my fiance has told him he will visit with her for a few hours like he's been doing on Saturdays. That one Saturday. Next comment, what is your fiance doing about his ex's harassment of you? She said, I sent the messages to my fiance. He's handling it since the entire case is out of state and it's also his ex. Next comment, what do you do when your fiance's ex keeps creating new social media accounts to contact you? She said, I just block her. She keeps making new accounts to bother me on Instagram and I just have to keep blocking her. What else do you do? Next comment, how are you documenting the harassment? She said, my fiance is handling all of that. I've kept records at the advice of his attorney and I send anything that she sends me to him. I have wasted so much time this weekend doing it. That would be so annoying. Next comment, what is your mother like and why does she tend to side with your fiance's ex? She said she does like to sweep problems under the rug and is very much a family first person. She refused to believe my dad was dying until 3 days before he actually passed away. When I was going through it, when my late husband passed away, her solution was to just keep me busy to quit thinking about it and did not agree with me going to therapy. She means well, she's just old school and has a lot of old school traits. Next comment, why does your fiance want to live in your home? She said, my fiance loves my house, even though it's the same house I shared with my late husband. It's way bigger than anything in his area. He also loves that it's more peaceful here. I don't see it turning around. Next comment, what was the original plan for your stepson's guardian ad litem? I'm probably saying that wrong. Let me look it up. I should learn. Litem, it says. Litem? Okay. She said he had the guardian ad litem early because his mother made things so contentious during custody hearings. In the state they live in, it's common practice for a child to have a guardian ad litem attorney to represent their best interests that's paid for by both of the parents. And last question, what happened with your stepson's mother after the move was approved? She went crazy. She said the courts have approved the move and my stepson's mother recently has severed all contact with him and refuses to take his phone calls now. That's certainly not going to help the situation, Mom, and your relationship with your son. Yikes. We're moving on to our first update. My only real updates are that my fiance's, we'll call him Nathan, ex, we'll call her Judy, has received a cease and desist letter from my fiance's lawyer this afternoon. Judy is only to contact Nathan on their co-parenting app for any issues that she may have related to co-parenting, and my stepson is available for her to contact. Judy is not to contact me under any circumstances, or a restraining order will be filed. I got a feeling it's going to be filed by the end of this video. Just saying. I have not heard from her since Sunday. My mom and I talked it out. I let her know that I was a bit disappointed that she had so much empathy for my ex's fiance and none for me. She admitted she really does care for my fiance and has thought for a long time that he was leading me on. She also is suspicious of the custody battle and worries about me being put in the drama. However, she did apologize to me for not being so supportive. She did say it's my life and she doesn't have to agree with every decision I make. She said even if she's not my fiance's biggest fan, she will remain respectful for my sake. Since I'm here, I will answer some common questions. When I wrote my original post, I was upset and it was kind of a stem of consciousness, so I wasn't clear on certain details. I figured I could take a moment to paint a clearer picture. Oh, please do! I love some clarity. All right, so number one, my fiance's mother, we'll call her Amelia, is a wonderful woman to me, but she did not like my fiance's ex at all. She and I have a wonderful relationship. She loves her grandson, and that's the only reason that she is civil towards the ex. But Amelia has a lot of suspicions of Judy's behavior. She strongly believes that Judy was after his money and that she got pregnant to trap my Nathan. I don't really believe that's true, but if that's what she believes, whatever. I do know Judy and Amelia clashed on several occasions over various things, including parenting. Okay, so his mom didn't like them together. Interesting. Number two, my stepson, we will call him Elijah, is very excited to transfer to the STEM school. Elijah attends a private school in his area that specializes in science and tech. He's very into computer programming and already knows 4 different programming languages. I'm a website UX designer, so I've taught him what I know as well. The STEM school in my area is one of the best in the region and possibly the country, and that is the main reason why he wants to live here with me. The school doesn't typically take students mid-year, but they made an exception for Elijah. If he wanted to stay, he would have had other options. He's very mature for his age. So that's a huge opportunity for him as well in his future, because it doesn't just happen for anyone, but he's a genius. Imagine being smart. I have no idea what that's like. Number 3, to end the court battles between his parents, Elijah's been considered responsible enough to make his own decisions regarding where he lives, but he still has to live with a parent or legal guardian until he's 18. It's not quite emancipation, but he has considered doing that if his mom continues to make trouble. He still continues to live with his dad, but he can see and do as he wishes, and the court won't really intervene. Basically, it was to prevent Judy from weaponizing the courts and trying to scream about parental alienation. That's about all I know and understand, and I'm sure that it's not the full story. Like I said, I try to stay out of it while being loving and supportive. He's a little old for me to mother at this point, but I want him to know that I'm there for him. Number 4, someone brought up a valid point. Nathan and I are not married yet. We're getting married in June of next year. I call Elijah my stepson because he tells people that I'm his stepmom, but nothing is official as of yet. I realize that maybe we should take care in using those labels, as it could cause issues since nothing is official yet. Either way, Elijah is happy for us. If he hadn't been, I don't think I would have felt comfortable taking our relationship far. But he's always been a great kid and I love him. Number 5, because Elijah is so mature, Nathan wanted to give him the choice where to live. Nathan was originally supposed to be promoted 2 years ago and we were going to move in together sooner, but then things with Elijah's mother went south and then his work wasn't able to promote him in a timely manner. It became clear that if Nathan left, Judy was going to go out of her way to make it difficult for Nathan to see Elijah, and came up with a lot of baseless accusations. Between that and his work, Nathan's promotion was delayed by 2 years. The original plan was that Nathan would see Elijah every other weekend. They would FaceTime daily and spend all holidays and summers with us while living with his mother. Interesting. That was the original plan. But it didn't work out and Nathan needed to stay. Because of that, Nathan wanted to give Elijah options on where he wanted to live. He never planned to abandon his son. He would still be an involved dad, and Elijah really doesn't have a rebellious bone in his body. His entire life revolves around computers, making websites, and programming. Trust me, we worry about his lack of rebellious spirit. He wasn't doing tequila shots and chasing with milk in someone's garden and throwing up? Oh, okay. Just me, I guess. Yeah, guys, I realized tequila and milk. Yes, I wonder why I threw up. Disgusting. We're making another pit stop at the Reddit comment section, baby. We need to refuel. Someone said she thought that he was leading you on, so later she tells you to move to him, and that would make you lose any safety nets you may have to appease a woman and the man that she thinks is leading you on. Some people can be funny. I'm glad it's working out for you guys. Taking a slight dig at her mother, she said that because she knew I wouldn't do it. I've come to the conclusion that my mom didn't want me to move on from my late husband. Too bad, Mom. That's just what happened here. Next comment. My mom is suspicious of all the custody battle and worries about me being put in the drama. I don't follow this logic. If she doesn't want you in the middle of it, why did she, quoting your original post, suggest that maybe I should consider a temporary living situation closer to them so as not to disrupt my stepson's routine and to help my fiance repair his relationship with his mother? Her terrible advice would only put you firmly in the middle of it. Interesting point there. Yeah, I didn't really piece that all together. She said part of the issue is she thinks I moved on too quickly from my late husband's passing. She loved my husband and I think she wanted me to remain a widow, but doesn't want to admit that. So she expects you to never find love again? Ever? Or just that it's too soon? I mean, either way though, that's your heart and your life. Next comment, you seem to be making good choices during a challenging time. I would encourage you to view your mother's advice with extreme caution. Yeah, I'm not sure your mom has your best interest at heart here. She responded to that and said, trust me, I do. Next comment, why is your mom so suspicious of your fiance? She said, I think it's less that she's suspicious and more that she would prefer I just had not moved on from my late husband who passed away in 2018. My late husband and I knew each other since we were kids and our families are still close. Funnily enough, I've gotten more support from my late husband's parents than I have from my own mother. They are excited for me to have found someone. They've met my fiance and they really like him. They also met my stepson and they like him too. And no, it's not creepy trying to replace their son. They're just happy that I found happiness after what happened. My mom is very mad that I moved on about a year and a half after my husband passed away. She said that it was too soon. Then she made excuses about why she didn't think the relationship would work. I lost both my husband and my dad within a year of each other, and my mom just has not been able to move on from that time period. Oh gosh. Well, that's an absolute nightmare. You know, you think you're having a bad day till you read a story like that. I spent a year in intensive therapy, and even though it's hard, I'm moving on as best as I can. My mom refuses to get help, and she resents things changing and me choosing not to wallow in misery with her. Our relationship hasn't been great for a few years, but she's my mom. All right, we have the next update. Buckle up, it's been a wild ride since I posted. Consider us buckled. My fiance's ex decided to latch onto someone else. Because of this, she told my stepson that she hates him. She is planning her future with her new man and that future does not include my stepson. She's gonna regret that one day. However, it turns out they both got busted for disorderly conduct and DV recently. I'm glad my stepson was not exposed to that. As for my mom, she and I had a bit of a falling out recently. I confronted my mom about her lack of support, and as I suspected, my mom told me that it was sinful that I moved on from my late husband and that I'm allowing another man to sleep in the same house I shared with my deceased husband. I had the house completely remodeled the year after my husband's passing. It was very therapeutic to put the house the way I wanted it. Her argument is that I dishonor my husband's memory by moving on. Wow, what a wild way of thinking, especially towards someone else. I understand she lost her husband and she's going through her own grief, but oh my gosh, man, That's tough. But my mom says that widows should never remarry. I told her that's her prerogative, but I will not isolate myself in grief. I've distanced myself from my mother until she can respect my relationship. The ironic thing is that my late husband's parents have moved on and they are happy for me. I've been closer to them than my own mother for many years now. They've met my fiance and stepson and they think that we're all a great match. They know I loved their son, but they have also encouraged me to move on. My ex-mother-in-law has even put my mom in her place. My mom has been sulking for a few weeks now and just keeping to herself. She can rejoin my life when she decides to be supportive. I have my family surrounding me, and if my mom refuses to be supportive, she can stay out of my life. Lastly, we are getting married February 14th in a small wedding ceremony, followed by a catered meal. My previous sister-in-law and best friend is my maid of honor. That's all I have for now. All right, we do have a final update. It does not end there, but you know where we're going, Reddit comments. Here we go. Someone said, "That's all I have. Wait, sister, you didn't tell us about the massive security team you hired for your wedding." She said, "Unnecessary, I hope. My mom is not the type to cause a scene." I was more thinking of the ex, not your mom. Oh, yeah, someone wrote back to that and said, "My first thought was actually the crazy ex." OP responded and said, "She's too busy trying to please her new man and getting wasted." Don't put anything past crazy though, you know? Next comment, someone said, "Congrats that you cut off your toxic mom. Best wishes for the future." She responded and said, "If she refuses to be supportive, she has no place in my life. I do not need to say or do anything else." Amen. We got the final update, but first, what's that I hear? It's time to board the hydration station. Cheers, drink your water today, you need it. You guys, it's like 10 p.m. and she has lost her noggin. She's going crazy. I can't get her to calm down. I'm tired, man. Look at my teddy socks. Ooh, the final update came over 10 months later. It's very recent, so we're wrapping this all up in one big bow. August 16th, 2026. I'm enjoying being married to my now husband and spending time with my stepson. My stepson is about to go into his senior year. He has applied to MIT and Caltech. I'm almost certain he will get into MIT, which is his first choice and not as far from home. He's really into the advances made by AI and even the controversies. He says that he's leaning towards AI biotechnology. He wants to invent a way for elderly people to use AI to stay in their homes instead of going to a nursing home or needing to relocate. My stepson has asked me to adopt him after his 18th birthday, which will be in April. Oh, that's precious. So assuming things are not going well with mom, we decided it was better to wait until he was an adult. That way there isn't anything left for his mother to fight. Not that I'm sure she would. To my knowledge, my stepson has not had any contact with his mother since he moved away. I don't think she's made any attempts to contact him either. Rumor has it, her new fiance has kids and she's spending all of her time with them. I don't think this is the same guy I mentioned last time, but I'm really not sure either. I don't really keep up to date on her now that she's mostly out of my husband's life and mine. I just heard an update my husband's sister was discussing with him and my stepson when she visited a few weeks ago. I don't ask because it's ultimately between my husband and my stepson. My husband and I are doing fantastic. Our wedding was nice. I was worried when reality set in that my first husband's family might drift away, but my former father-in-law loves my husband. My husband lost his father when he was young, and my father passed away not long after my late husband passed. So my previous father-in-law has been a wonderful father figure to both of us. Bless them. I can only imagine how difficult that would be, that your son's wife, who was like a daughter-in-law to you, moves on after he passes. Oh, bless. He misses his son, but I think my husband has filled some of the gaps for him. For example, my father-in-law loves tinkering with cars. My husband loves tinkering, so they bond over that, and my father-in-law is teaching my husband about auto mechanics. Both my mother-in-law and father-in-law love my stepson too. Most importantly, my now husband harbors no jealousy with my first husband, and I've heard horror stories of that when people remarry. Because my husband lost his own dad when he was young and watched his mom remarry someone who did get jealous of the life they had before. He says that seems like a waste of emotion instead of just enjoying the present. My husband has been very understanding when I mourn on certain days, like first husband's birthday or the anniversary of his passing. He knows it's nothing against him and that our love is solid. He also knows I experienced a tragedy that no one should ever have to face. My husband and I are expecting via surrogacy. We are excited. I always wanted to be a mother but had difficulties before. I didn't mention this because it had no bearing on my previous post, but I had some unfertilized eggs frozen from a round of IVF I did with my first husband before he passed away. I also had some fertilized embryos with my first husband that were never used. Before we got married, my husband and I were going back and forth on adoption or using my unused egg and a surrogate. We decided to do the latter and successfully created some embryos shortly after we got married. We are 17 weeks along now with a girl expected in late December or early January. We just found out about the sex a few days ago. Our surrogate has been awesome. We would like to have 2 kids together, and this is something we discussed before getting married. We may adopt our second child. We will revisit in a couple of years. As for my mom, our contact has been limited since our last argument. She made the choice to move into assisted living closer to my brother, that I'm not very close to, several states away. I wish her the best, but I don't need someone who will try to undermine my joy and force me to remain in a tragic time of my life. My first husband's family and my current husband's family have been the support network I've needed, and they are incredibly supportive. Sometimes I'm still shocked at how supportive and understanding my first husband's family has been and how much they've continued to include me in the family. In all, life is good. I'm very grateful it's good. I choose to look at the good in life. And you know what? I think that's why good is happening, because you do. You've moved on. I mean, we don't know, but from what I can tell, you've moved on with grace, with optimism, with choosing joy, even in the hardest of moments and times. I'm happy we had a happy ending here. Not perfect and not great parts, but overall, a happy ending for them and their new family. Let me know your thoughts on this one, you guys. You may have experienced something similar, or you may highly disagree with widows remarrying and that whole thing. So let me know. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. I'll see you tomorrow. Go on, get.